guys.
This is the Sports Podcast.
Oh, the F1 show.
The F1 Show. The Sports Podcast. BBC has an F1 show. You should check that one out if you want an F1 show.
Well, we only talk about F1. We mostly talk about F1.
And sometimes we talk about UFC, but today it's going to be about
F1.
The Spanish GP.
Yeah. Gran Premio Hispana Pirelli 2015.
You know, you really shouldn't speak Spanish if you don't know the language.
I wasn't speaking the language. I was just talking about the Formula One thing. Anyways, so we have to start with my t-shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
you see
a
this, McLaren? This is what Lewis Hamilton won his race on. You know? This. This is Lewis Hamilton's race-winning t-shirt for McLaren. And now, and this is really particular, really, you know, when at the time of qualifying, McLaren, every one of the commentators said McLaren is ahead of Force India in development and Sauber and Force India, but I'm more biased towards Force India, so this was your good old days. Today is Independence Day.
Well, that's a sad ending, regardless. So this is just... Well, he's rubbing it in McLaren's face because McLaren
Because
is...
next week I won't be able to do so.
Why? Why do you do that?
You know what? All the Jensen Button after the race, after the Spanish Grand Prix, said that they will, most probably they won't end with points this season. But I think McLaren's got it good. They're doing stuff. The Honda is pushing them. They're doing stuff. I just think Ron Dennis, as a team principal, needs to be changed because most probably there is, I don't know, he doesn't seem to have it.
Yeah, I mean, Alonso was 11th, right? I mean, for duration this
Before his brakes failed.
Before his brakes failed and he had to be pulled out. I mean, and his brakes failed in stellar fashion too.
Well, he almost ran over his pit,
the pit guy who's holding the jack, and well, it wasn't an almost run over. The guy jumped out of the
yeah, because Ted Kravitz in his post-race notebook said that guy is very experienced. He's got like 13 years of experience of standing in front of F1 cars. So when he looked at Fernando Alonso coming in, he knew he wasn't going to stop. So he jumped out and let the jack take the hit.
Yeah, and the jack did take the hit. After that, Alonso was pulled in.
But that was not the only one. We have to talk about Pastor Maldonado and his pit guy getting jacked up on that jack. He was in air for a while. And again, on Ted Kravitz's post-race thing, they got a shot of him coming in on a wheelchair with his leg up. He's on a wheelchair, being dragged there. So, and at the time of the race, he was holding a bag of ice on his nether regions. So
well, on those particular parts, but and that too, I mean, there's a whole lot of brake failures that are happening and tire issues.
Exactly, it's Barcelona. Barcelona has the highest tire degradation in F1. By the way, I'm wearing shorts. I'm really fond of Ted Kravitz, so I'm a Ted Kravitz guy.
I always wear shorts.
Anyways, so Barcelona has a whole lot of tire degradation. So the Barcelona also is hard on the brakes. Famously, Lewis Hamilton was supposed to do a two-stop strategy.
Yeah.
Okay, they couldn't maintain it, so he had to do three again because Barcelona.
The only guy who possibly got away with the two-stop was Rosberg because he was leading the pack.
No, he also did a three-stop.
He also did a three-stop.
Oh, well, exactly. We have to come to from qualifying. Okay, qualifying. First of all, Force India gets eliminated in the first stage of the qualifying. Q3, Force India is out. Q2, Saubers are out.
Saubers and the Lotuses and the McLarens, I think.
McLaren's qualified higher than Force India's.
Yeah, they had qualified higher than Force India's, but they went out in the Q2, which is very disappointing for me as a Force India fan, you know. But
they don't have the car.
they don't have the updates. Their updates are coming in
Yeah,
the next week.
they didn't have the upgrades. It's they have spoken about it famously. They don't have the upgrades. They're supposed to come down in Monaco. They said that it's going to be a couple of hard races for Force India.
Perez was also a little hopeful for the upgrades.
Yeah.
So-
And once they get the upgrades, look, this is what I think this will be the 6th race.
Yeah, I think this would be the 6th race.
So-
There was Australia, there was Australia, China, Bahrain, and which one else?
Spain.
Spain. Spain. This is the 4th race.
No, there has to be another one in the middle, Malaysia or something like that.
That was wise. Regardless, so this is, I mean,
It's still early in the season.
there's a lot that's still left to happen.
Yeah.
There's Bahrain, there's Spain, this is Monaco. Go back, right?
Monaco will be the next, and then it will be Canada. So anyways.
It's fairly early in the season to make any judgments, but until Force India gets its updates, since everybody else got them, I guess they were ahead of the pack.
Yeah, Ferrari famously brought in a whole lot of updates. They put him all in Vettel's car, and initially it worked for Vettel.
I mean, I think it worked out pretty well for the end till the end too. I mean, he was faster than. Okay, his teammate was faster than him. True. His teammate was doing
in the middle of the race on the hard compound tire. It's Kimi Raikkonen. Yeah, you never know what works with Kimi Raikkonen, but Kimi Raikkonen went back to the old Ferrari. He did not like the new setup. He did not like the new race updates, so he went back to the old car.
That's surprising.
Yes. So Ferrari brought in a whole lot of updates. They didn't all work. They worked for Vettel, they didn't work for Raikkonen. They can't put everything in the car. You need to balance it out, everything. And Lewis Hamilton, we have to start at the beginning. As I was saying, qualifying, Q3.
Force India's are out. Q2.
McLaren's
and
Lotuses are out. Sauber Ferraris. Q1. Here's what we're going to talk about. Toro Rosso's qualifying ahead of Red Bulls. They have been out racing the Red Bulls, but this time they out qualified them. Can you imagine that?
But this time they weren't so. I mean, yeah, they out qualified them, and then there was the other surprising thing was that Rosberg was faster than Hamilton.
Yeah, but I'm gonna come to that. Horrible qualifying for Massa. Truly. Horrible qualifying for Massa. He ends up in the back of the row. And what Toro Rosso's did was got more downforce for the car. So they lowered the car to create more downforce. But what it does is, it also increases the drag. Now in qualifying, they have the power, they have everything, they have the aerodynamics, and they all qualified everybody.
Yeah, and the primary reason was Monaco as a track has a whole lot of turns, and the the Toro Rossos were faster around the corners than any other car on the track.
They could outbrake, they could outmaneuver, so they were doing very well. They were very cheerful after qualifying. Come race day, that drag dragged them to the back of the pack, and
not a very good race for them.
And remember, these are two kids. Martin Brundle on the race broadcast said, if there was any senior driver over there, he would have said no. He would have told them what is going to happen. So
they shouldn't have possibly taken that gamble. But it was a viable gamble considering the track Monaco is. This gives them a whole lot of maneuverability. I think before the race started.
No, because in the end, what did they end up with? They've got 2 points which are in contention because I don't know what has happened right now, but Carlos Sainz seems to be out of position. He left the track to get and got ahead of somebody, and there is
he was out of position when he was starting.
No, he was out of position at the end of the race.
I see.
So they were checking that out. So I'm not sure. Maybe he's retained the points. Maybe no. We can check it out.
Yeah, we can check it out. But regardless, let's move on a little further.
Okay, and then I have to say this: Williams, Bottas. What an amazing qualifying and race for Bottas. He drove the perfect race with the car he has, the Mercedes engines, and the Williams power behind him. his teammate Massa is back on the back. He is ahead. He was racing the perfect race. He he had a good weekend all throughout.
Apparently, they have escaped the penalty. That is the latest. That is the latest
Okay,
as of
so-
yesterday. So, the penalties haven't been enforced on them, which means he still got those 2 points. But let's see. I mean, apparently Kvyat was also in penalty for the same thing.
Yeah.
It was their race then.
Yes.
I see.
So they both could have been disqualified or something like that.
When was this? Did you notice this?
Yes. Well, no, I didn't. Even I think in the broadcast, I didn't notice. I got to know of this
It wasn't
later.
talked about.
Later on the post race shows, I saw that. So you got to Toro Rosso doing pretty well for themselves.
And the Williams also going.
Daniel Ricciardo had a lonely race. We didn't see him there. Bad thing for Red Bull. They didn't even get any TV time. So.
Well, they've got a track.
Okay, whatever. That was a really bad one. So, yeah.
Moving on to the Mercedes, which surprised.
Mercedes versus Ferrari. You had to talk about that. Okay, initially we thought Ferrari had this. It's a hot track.
Yeah, it seemed the conditions seem pretty nice to them.
Yeah. Guess what happened?
The updates from Mercedes?
No, not only that. Well, everybody's upgrading the cars.
Right, so you're saying it's an even playing field there.
Yeah, that's everybody's upgrading some part, getting more aerodynamic upgrades, getting more front fins, DRS, and all that. But what happened was these hard compound tires. Apparently, Ferrari is not good with them.
So that's what was happening. But Rosberg was good with them, so Vettel was lagging back on them a little.
Lewis Hamilton has famously done the fastest lap in Spain on hard compound tires. He was catching his teammates at the end. So Ferraris are not good at their hard compound tires. They like softs.
No, Vettel likes softs.
No, the Ferrari car likes softs.
You're saying the car's dragging the hard compound tire a little bit too hard.
Yeah. After the race, it was found out that Ferraris are not good at with the hard compound tires.
Well, that's going to cause them a problem because they're going to have to use them a lot more in the coming races, right?
But no, Monaco Pirelli is bringing super softs and softs, so it's going to be different. But that was kind of strange. And then we have to talk about Lewis Hamilton's qualifying. Lewis Hamilton was really fast, and he did a fastest lap. But guess what? Rosberg had it in for him. And Rosberg had the perfect weekend. And, I don't blame him. I don't blame anybody, actually. But an incident happened at the free practice 1 or 2 where Lewis Hamilton spun out. This is where Fernando Alonso spun out and crashed his car.
Oh.
In the Barcelona testing.
Right, the one that left him with that back injury.
With amnesia.
Yeah, with amnesia, right.
Yeah.
He woke
I'm
up.
Fernando Alonso. I drive. What was it? I drive.
I am Fernando Alonso.
I drive karts.
I drive karts.
And I want to drive.
I want to be an F1 driver, right?
Yeah.
Those were his exact words.
Yeah.
That was pretty sad, but apparently, so he spun out at the same place.
Yeah, he didn't crash.
Right.
He spun out. But I think that ruffled his whole weekend.
But I would say that Hamilton did what he's always been doing. He's been taking it a little easy on his tires, going a little, cruising a little by the end of it all, which is possibly
he
what
he has to push the car, right?
Yeah, but maybe because even the race commentary, they were also talking about this in the qualifying time, that maybe Hamilton is going a little easy on his car, which is why Rosberg managed to catch up to him and got the first position. So got the transfer.
No, I think what happened was that he put in a fastest lap. Okay, he was P1. He was going for another flying lap.
Right.
He had a wind up lap, and then he has to push the car into another flying lap.
Right.
What happened was Rosberg did a flying lap, which was higher than Lewis Hamilton. But as the race commentary went, as the qualifying commentary went, I think the track evolved and became hotter, and nobody else could match those times. So Rosberg got in at the right time.
I see.
So now Lewis Hamilton has spun out. Lewis Hamilton has a not so good flying lap at the end. Lewis Hamilton is on P2.
So you're saying he choked?
I think he choked at the first stages of the race.
It did seem a little like
Because
that.
he had a horrible start. Remember,
His wheel spun right at the start.
Yeah, and Vettel passed him. I think that's what happened. And
Yeah, that also cost him a lot because Rosberg managed to get away while he
even
got
in the
stuck in traffic.
qualifying, even in the qualifying, Lewis Hamilton was not very happy after the qualifying. He looked kind of miffed because Rosberg had
A better time.
no, yeah, Rosberg had the P1. After the race, he looked a lot more miffed. He said all the right things. People, he said the right things, but
That's Hamilton. Hamilton will always say the right things. Hamilton is like that. But if you look at the thing, if this is the way you're talking about it, then we saw this a little bit of this last season too, right?
I think Rosberg is finally
Getting under
his
Hamilton's
moves.
skin, right?
Yeah.
Oh man, this is gonna be bloody awesome. An infight between Mercedes and the fight between Mercedes and Ferrari. Oh, this season's heating up.
Yeah, and so it's gonna be fun. So what happened in the race is like at the end of the race, Lewis Hamilton bangs in on those hard compound tires, bangs in those fastest lap, and then there is this radio broadcast which where Hamilton is being told like you cannot catch your teammate, you cannot.
Let up. You can't catch your teammate. You'll ruin the car.
Okay, you rather save the engine.
Yeah, save the engine. He didn't let up.
Well, he didn't let up for the 2 laps, but he asked, "Is there a possibility?"
And they said no.
And they said yes. They said they were hesitant about saying this, but they did say there is a possibility, but then Nico would, race you, and it's going to be taxing on the engine. Here's the thing: you got 4 engines. This is the 5th race. This is right. This is the 5th race of the season. So he can blow off his engine, but they didn't let him. And later on, Lewis Hamilton has famously said that it wouldn't have been good for the team.
Well,
I see team orders.
I actually look at Red Bull and the way they've gone through their engines, and I go like Mercedes can afford an engine at the cost of that race because it would have been awesome to see Lewis Hamilton not let up and keep going after Nico because
He was faster.
He was faster. He was doing the fastest lap in every sector on Monaco. So I mean that was beautiful looking at him go.
But altogether, really boring race.
After that, it got boring.
No, I think it was. Where did Lewis Hamilton pass Sebastian Vettel? In the undercut. They never raced. It's he comes into the pits.
The actual racing, I think, was going on between.
Listen to this. Hold on. Lewis Hamilton comes into the pits. Okay, changes his tire and goes back. He gets past Bottas. Bottas really couldn't hold him. Okay,
Not a chance.
and he bangs in faster times, and Vettel has to respond with the undercut, where Ferrari did not respond. Here's the thing, horrible race for Ferrari, on tire degradation, on strategy. They wanted to do a 2-stop strategy, they did not evolve past it, they kept on doing that 2-stop strategy.
Which was sad.
Yeah, and then Vettel has to come in to defend against Lewis Hamilton, but he cannot. He's coming in to defend against Bottas.
Well,
Yeah, that's how it happened.
but it was kind of sad after that point, to be honest.
And look at this, Kimi Raikkonen on the old setup. It was faster than on those hard compound tires. Was faster than Vettel, but he couldn't pass Bottas. Bottas was amazing.
As always, Bottas could
He
block.
was amazing. For the last 6 laps, he blocked Kimi Raikkonen.
There's a question about this too, because by the end of the race, when they were racing, they were constantly talking about blue flagging the black back markers and all these. I mean, the top 5 cars were at least.
Kimi Raikkonen
and Vettel. Vettel was also a little pissed off.
Kimi Raikkonen was saying, "What the fuck are the Marussias doing? What the fuck are the McLarens doing?"
Well, I mean, And then you have a question like, shouldn't those guys be allowed to race? Because honestly, they're the only ones
even
racing.
Mattel said, I know they're racing too, but come on, guys.
Blue flag. Yeah, I mean...
It starts always like that. In the initial season, you see Mattel singing blue flag, and the Marussia is moving out. But as the season progresses, that blue flag becomes worth a fraction of a second.
And you could see that happening in this race too, because
now they're racing. Now the season's on.
Yeah, and the biggest part about them racing, by the way, this is something I was trying to talk about earlier as well. The Toro Rossos, the kids, they were actually in this season, I would say, taught a lesson by the Red Bulls in a certain sense, because the Red Bulls in the straight lines were faster, were racing, and these kids were getting taught a lesson in how to block.
I would disagree with that. Adrian Newey, the Red Bull's aerodynamic chief, like if the Toro Rossos are faster, there is a reason for that. The Toro Rossos are not supposed to be faster. But Adrian Newey is concentrating on the Red Bull air race. Suddenly I went Irish. I'm sorry, air race. Forgive me. So he's concentrating on the air race. He's concentrating on the another race series. Is his attention diverted over there? You have to ask those questions. If the Red Bulls are not fast, it is because of Adrian Newey. We could have given him a free pass at the earlier of the season because they were blowing up engines, they were not fast. But the Toro Rossos with the same setup are faster.
On the note of them blowing up engines, even in this race, they told Kvyat to let up on Verstappen, or who was he racing? Sainz? Because when they said that, stop pushing your car, Danny, if you push it farther, you'll blow the engine.
I missed that. I'm sorry, I missed
that. That was again one thing that I was like, they're still a little concerned about the engine, but they've at least got their drivers to let up on it. And the way you talk about it, do you think aerodynamics would affect that?
Force India is suffering in the back of the grid because of aerodynamics.
They
got a 2015 engine. They got a 2015 chassis. They got a 2015 car. They got great drivers. It's the aerodynamic updates, the software updates, the Class B the Car B specifications.
So
they don't have the downforce.
Right. Well, regardless, plus that was also going to be a major factor in Monaco because the streets are so cramped, right? The track is
it would have been a benefit in Monaco because it's a twisty, turny track.
But they should have gotten past Q1.
Yeah, but again, they would have ended up in the back of the grid. This race was supposed to be really bad for Force India. It is really bad for Force India.
It is really bad for
But come on, they started as 15th, 16th, and they ended up at
11 and 14, I think.
No, they ended up at 13 and 15. Nico Hülkenberg ended up at 15 because he was stuck behind, oh my god, Pastor Maldonado. Why is this guy a race driver? He famously banged into his teammate at the start of the race.
Which was hilarious to watch, to be honest.
He goes off the track.
It almost looked like he didn't see the car. It really did almost look like he didn't see that car.
You're a Lotus driver. If you're going to bang into a car, make it a McLaren. Make it somebody else. Don't take out your own teammate.
And then Pastor Maldonado was driving with a very ugly car, and
without a back
fin. He lost fin.
A back support for his back fin. One of the supports for the fin had.
I think those are called fins. That thing is called a spoiler, right?
Yeah.
The fin for the spoiler. He was missing a fin.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Thank you for putting it in so eloquently. I just got lost over there.
Right. So that was a very ugly car, and we all kept waiting for him to be dragged off the race because how the hell can he be driving without a fin?
Apparently, the marshals were okay with it until they weren't. So and it was not like the race was going any good for him because. Excuse me, he's missing a part of his car.
And he was simply dragging Hülkenberg back for the major part of the race.
Yeah, and it's Pastor Maldonado, so you cannot really overtake him. You never know he's going to do something stupid.
Yeah.
So as a F1 driver, you have to think about that. It's been 5 races. He's been out of... He has not
finished a single one, yeah.
No, in 4. Last race he finished. Remember? Last race.
Bahrain, right?
Yeah.
He finished Bahrain.
Yeah. So last race he finished.
Yeah, but even then, he had space to do a whole lot of stupid shit, and he did capitalize on that chance.
Well,
That's Pastor Maldonado.
again, and then he jacked up his Jackman.
Yeah.
Okay, and you gotta talk about Roman Grosjean. He lost fourth gear.
Yeah.
And they told him that if you put it in that gear, you will lose time, you will lose power,
And you might blow the engine.
yeah. So
So they were like, skip the gear. And he kept saying that if I skip the gear, I'll be slower. And they said it's a risk you'll have to take because otherwise you blow the car.
yeah, so not all good for Lotus either.
Yeah.
They finished out of points too.
But he lost his fourth gear because of that incident, right? With Pastor.
No, I don't think so. I think
They didn't connect the dots, but it happened around
No,
the
because
same
he
time.
because later on in the race he had to put gear, and that's how he could race. They got it back. I think it was a software glitch or a mechanical issue. I don't think so. It was a mechanical issue. I think it was a software glitch.
Yeah, mechanical issues don't magically fix themselves.
Yeah. So I think it was a software issue, and they rebooted or whatever.
Yeah, they must have done something from the back end.
So
This was also a very weird race in certain senses.
there
because-
was no actual racing going on. There were these technical issues which kept.
And everybody beyond point 10th, beyond place 10th, was racing. I mean,
And Kartik Lalit famously fell out asleep. in the
it
middle
was
of
a
the race.
very long race and a very wrong race because there was no race.
Here's the thing. I don't know why did it. I honestly don't know. I didn't research on this. Now, why did they change the tracks? Because it was supposed to be Monaco, and then it
changed
was
it to
supposed to be
Spain.
Barcelona. They did Barcelona first, then they're going to Monaco. I don't know why they did that. Because if it was Monaco and people are bringing in updates and everything, it's still there is twisty, turny, and then still you can overtake.
But this track, you can't push that hard.
Yeah, because it's
first
it's
of
a
all,
full form track. It needs a complete car.
Yeah, I mean, plus it was a very tough track for many people to race on. You heard the problems from everybody.
No,
Everybody
it
started with the
wasn't a tough track, as Rosberg said. It was the easiest day in the office.
True, but he had zero traffic.
No, he was passing backmarkers too.
Right.
He finished around 12 seconds ahead of Lewis Hamilton.
Exactly. If you're passing back markers, you've got a gigantic gap behind you. Okay, Hamilton's closing in on you, but when Hamilton started closing in on him, he was roughly 23 seconds behind. So you go at about that. He's got a gigantic gap behind him. It would be an easy day for him in the office.
He said it was an easy day. It was a great race. It was one of the easiest races he has done, and he also thanked Sebastian Vettel for keeping his teammate at bay.
Well, that's Rosberg.
So it's great. It was great fun after the race. At the time of the race, it sucked.
Yeah, I mean, I fell off to sleep for a reason.
Yeah. Okay, so let's wind up. Let's do the drivers' points.
Yeah, so let's
So Lewis Hamilton is at 111 point.
And Nico Rosberg is now catching up with 91 points, right?
Only
behind
20
him.
points. He cut his lead down. He's only 20 points behind Hamilton. Then that's less than a race. And Hamilton, I bet all the nice things Hamilton is saying, he's being very,
But I bet
polite.
but inside his head, I bet he's shouting his head off.
He didn't look right. Even after the post-race press conference, you can catch it on YouTube. It's there.
I think it's safe to say he's ruffled.
No, he was pissed. He's just pissed. He's fucking pissed.
Well, his team didn't let him race. He got stuck. He had wheel spins. He got stuck behind Vettel. He's bound to be pissed.
Okay, Sebastian Vettel at 80 points at a strong number 3 for Ferrari. And Kimi
Raikkonen at 52, a strong number 4 for Ferrari.
But look at the difference, 80 and then 52. Yeah, that's kind of weird.
Those initial races really, paid off for Hamilton, especially that win that he got in Australia.
Not only that, Kimi Raikkonen is coming up in the season, but again, he finished 5th.
But if he keeps showing a lot more of this, that gap might close because Vettel's...
But he has to be open to new upgrades. He just said, take off all those things you put on. Let me race.
But he's still doing fairly well. Even
In
with
spite
that,
of that,
in spite of that.
I think with Monaco he'll have a free practice. He will get on the car. He'll do the qualifying with the new upgrades. He'll get used to it. So I think he'll catch up. Valtteri Bottas, man, this guy for Williams. Wow, this German, he does not get ruffled. Is he Finn or he's a Finn?
I think he's a Finn, yeah.
Yeah, he's not German.
He
speaks German. He speaks German because he was speaking to Seb. So I don't know, but
it
could be German or Italian.
One thing that comes to my mind when you talk about Valtteri Bottas is this dude can block, and he always lands up in the same place.
No, he blocks and he consolidates position and he moves ahead. The guy, he's like, you know what they call him?
What they call him?
Little Iceman. little Kimmy. So,
and well, justifiably, he's right behind Kimi Räikkönen at 42 points, just 10 points behind.
Massa, who's had horrible races now.
This one was particularly horrible. He started at 10th.
Last time, no, look at Bahrain. He doesn't start. Yeah, they have to push him.
He had DNS.
They have to push him. This time again, something or the other. You gotta feel for him.
This time, I think it was the traffic that kind of killed his car for him.
Okay, Daniel Ricciardo comes at
25 points.
At number 7, at a lonely number 7,
at
with no Red Bull near him.
Roman Grosjean for the Lotus is at 16 points.
You gotta say this, Grosjean, the Frenchman, looks back on song. After 3 years, he's back.
Yeah, but these races,
he's not like a pole kind of a guy no longer, because he does not get into those reckless positions. But damn it,
he's coming close to the top order.
Yeah.
I mean, in every race, Roman Grosjean is making the Lotus look particularly good, and then Pastor Maldonado screws it up for you. But Roman Grosjean gives you hope that the Lotus is, I mean, they're doing pretty well.
So was Felipe Nasser.
At 14 points.
Yeah, at 9. Carlos Sainz at 10 for Toro Rosso.
With 8 points.
That's good. I like these young guys getting all coming up in points.
You didn't expect them to have points. I mean, let's start with that. They weren't supposed to have points, but they do.
And look at this, Carlos Sainz ahead of Max Verstappen, we were all singing praises about Verstappen and his outbreaking maneuvers.
I think it was Ricciardo and Verstappen that were racing this time around.
Okay,
regardless,
but Carlos Sainz is finishing ahead. Okay, and then Max Verstappen has 11.
6 points.
And then comes the Force India guys, Nico Hülkenberg and Sergio Perez.
Hulk has the same number of points as Verstappen.
Yeah, but he was ranked lower in this race, so he comes in.
Yeah, he comes below.
Yeah, and he's slower on track. Also,
Perez got 5 points.
You know what? Hülkenberg did not look happy after the race. When they were talking, when Ted Kravitz was going through the whole, he was doing those presentation areas,
right.
The notebook. Mm-hmm. Okay, so Hülkenberg, I saw on the back of the screen, you saw Hülkenberg walk out of the Force India's hospitality area. He did not look happy. They better do something.
Well, they'll get the updates soon, and plus this season has been going very well for Hulk. I mean, the last few races he was performing pretty good before the other cars got their updates. So
they need to bring those updates quick.
Yeah, this has to be a disappointing race for the guy.
Yeah, this 2 races he's not got points. He does not like that.
Perez is also particularly.
This is the guy whose off season goes and races for Porsche 5000 series. He doesn't like this.
Yeah, I mean this problem, they have to get it fixed. And Perez also was famously a little unhappy.
No, Perez is okay.
He was optimistic, but
Checo is younger. Checo knows he can push it, and Checo did a 2-stop strategy. Okay.
He's the only guy who did.
And I finished ahead of Sebastian himself.
Yeah.
Okay. Checo did a 2-stop strategy and finished ahead of Hülkenberg. And he's gotten pretty used to it. He's getting used to the car. When the updates come, he's going to do one of those strategy things and
As soon as the updates come, both of these guys are going to do one of those
They're
strategy
going to be
things.
the biggest movers then.
Force India is pretty good with strategy.
But then there is Sauber. They're going to bring in their updates too. And talking about Sauber, Marcus Ericsson is at 14th. Let's wind up.
Yeah.
Danny Kvyat is at 5. They all are at 5, from Sergio Perez to Danny Kvyat.
Then Alonso and Button at 0 points.
Oh man.
McLaren's, as we started this podcast with.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, well.
Let's move on.
They all came in and they go, we got to update. Look at a new car. Look. And do you know this? Let me just inform all our listeners and viewers. McLaren changed the car paint. They changed the livery and made it more grey. You know why?
Why?
Because changing that car paint made them lose 1 kilo.
The hell?
Ron Dennis, what the fuck, man?
How can you get to car paint that weighs a kilo?
Well, all those chrome with those metal shavings, obviously that will weigh it down. That's why Force India has black, orange, and then a little silver over there.
Well, that's a very stupid move, to be honest.
Yeah.
Anyways, moving on to the constructors.
Mercedes on top, obviously.
As usual, with 200.
Ferrari at second, as usual.
And the gap between Mercedes and Ferrari is gigantic now.
How much is it? 132 to 202? Here's what happens. Both the cars don't finish in a race. It's hard.
I call it impossible.
Here's the thing. With Rosberg and Lewis Hamilton racing like the last season, what happens if both the cars don't finish? They bang into each other. They don't finish. That gap is going to go down. Because Sebastian Vettel and Kimi Raikkonen are really good friends. Even when they race, they're very civil. They're not like fighting cats.
They're just behind these two. Actually, now that you put it like that, they've always been third and fourth. Last 3 races, we've seen them at third and fourth.
No, they're like third and fifth. Yeah. Well,
third and fifth, third and fourth, but they'll close that gap pretty quick. They suddenly become first and second then.
yeah. But here's the thing. After this comes Williams, and the point discrepancy is insane. They're at 81 points, 132 to 81 points.
I don't call that insane. I think. I mean,
No,
how much is it? It's 50 points.
Yeah, exactly. But it's insane because
You just said a 202 to 132 gap isn't that hard. That's 70 points.
Here's the thing. Ferraris are racing Mercedes. They had a couple of bad races. Do you expect Williams to race a Ferrari?
Not possible.
So
they couldn't block Williams. They tried to block Raikkonen before. Bottas has blocked Raikkonen before, but
that just shows Bottas' class and Raikkonen's
civility, I suppose.
No, Raikkonen's they were racing for great positions. So Raikkonen's, again, I have to come back to that position where Raikkonen is not happy with the updates.
I think they'll fix the updates, culture them a little more to him, and give him back to him. I mean, they can't let him drive a car without the updates.
And like Lewis Hamilton was not happy with his car, his balance was off.
And
what if
the wheels spinning and everything like that.
He said his car's balance was off. What if Lewis Hamilton does not feel the car, his balance is off, and he goes off position and this thing? One car finishes, but Rosberg is at number 3. Again, the Ferraris can overtake Mercedes. Anything can happen. That is where the thing is there. Williams and Ferrari, nothing. I don't see anything happening over there.
Here's what I don't see ever happening. The Red Bull's coming above Williams. They're right below the Williams, and they've got 30 points only.
No, Red Bull's, as the season is going on, Red Bull's, everything is deteriorating. I don't think Red Bull... I think Toro Rossos are going to... At the end of the season, I think Toro Rossos are going to
finish above Red Bulls, yeah. I have that feeling too. But they've got the Saubers and the Lotus between them right now, and the Saubers are at the 5th point with 19... Yeah, at the 5th place with 19 points, which is... I mean, this race, Marcus Ericsson was amazing. The Saubers look pretty good.
I think I'm even Felipe Nasser.
Felipe Nasser, sorry.
Yeah.
I am totally
Marcus Ericsson finished below... Hulkenberg.
No, he finished
below
above
Perez. Below Perez.
Yeah, he finished above Hulk.
Yeah, he finished above Hulk, below Perez.
Yeah, Perez
13th, he was 14th.
That was a development that happened in the last few laps itself.
He had a bad pit stop.
Yeah,
they screwed up his pit stop, and you have to talk about that. not very good day in the pits. Hamilton's pit stop got screwed up.
He had
With
yeah,
the
that's
the back rail.
I mean, this race was bad for Hamilton from the top to the bottom.
And all those things happen, and then your team lets you down. The back wheel nut gets screwed up, and then
Not
you
just-
are obviously racing Sebastian.
Then obviously the two Jackmen who flew. I mean, one who ran out of the way, the other.
It was an eventful race for
the
different
pits.
reasons.
Yeah.
Okay, and then comes Sauber, and then the Lotuses.
Yeah.
So look, the mid-grade is going to be really active this season because
That's where the actual fun's gonna happen.
yeah, it's going to be like Sauber, it's going to be Lotus, it's going to be Toro Rosso, it's going to be Force India, and McLaren trying to get those updates and trying to make things happen.
And the Marussia is possibly coming in.
Here's the Marussia team principal had to say that they are expecting updates too. They're currently on a 2014 Ferrari engine. They're getting a new 2015 Ferrari engine.
Wow.
And a few aerodynamic upgrades. So,
That may change the entire field for Marussia. That
no,
may...
I don't think so they'll race. I think they will be racing McLarens.
Well, at least McLarens get to see some action.
Here's the thing, McLaren is suffering from reliability, and even Marussias are reliable.
McLarens and the Red Bulls have major reliability issues.
Yeah, but Red Bull's got pace. McLaren doesn't even have pace.
Well, it's a very drastic shift
But
for
at
them,
least
from the
Jenson
Mercedes to the Honda.
Jenson Button finished the race for McLaren.
Yeah, Jenson Button does constantly seem to be able to do that, and plus his carefree attitude, his calmness. That guy's amazing.
You know what? Even right now, I saw this Ron Dennis interview, and Ron Dennis was talking about how how McLaren's going to race, catch up to Sauber's and Force India. That's in qualifying. Okay, they did that in qualifying. They did it. I agree. But again, I saw arrogance and one of those things where he didn't want to change. He didn't want to change.
That's very
That's kind of sad. That's kind of sad. He has all nasty things to say about his drivers, his development team. Nothing. Now
he has to realize that the drivers in the development team are possibly what is responsible for the race going on.
like Jenson Button is doing his job.
Very well, I would say.
Fernando Alonso is doing his job. There's all right. The aerodynamic team is letting them down. But Ron Dennis needs to change. It's kind of like I don't want to.
That kind of does reflect, when they're racing, because they're always a little disheartened. You don't see them going that hard. I mean, Alonso did try to push it here at Spain for obvious reasons,
and look at the team which is right at the back of the grid. Will Stevens and his teammate. Marussia, Will Stevens and.
1 minute, I'll just open it up.
Okay, and his teammate are racing, and Marussia is famously giving them the car. Marussia says, "Yeah, it would be better for us to
Will
develop."
Stevens and Roberto Meri.
Mary, Stevens and Mary are racing, and the team principal said, "Yeah, it would be better, and we would save a lot of money if we just invest in a car for the next season with the next season rules." But we are a racing team, and these guys are racing, and we have to give them cars to race.
And plus, that gives them screen time, I would say.
Not only does it give them screen time, it gives them, it is a very positive outlook.
Yeah,
as a
it
team.
keeps the competitive spirit going, the race
And
going.
developments happening compared to a very negative environment in McLaren.
I mean, think about this. They're at the back of the pack, but they're smiling.
Yeah.
They're literally at the bottom of the pack. Marussia is ranked lower than the McLarens right now, and they're at 0 points. They're still happy inside their paddock. On the other hand, you look at Button's always smiling, but that's Button's attitude. You look at Alonso, you see the real picture coming.
No, Alonso was smiling and all that,
but
it was his home
when
race.
his car was taken out, he was pissed off.
Obviously, he was pissed off. It was his home race, and all of Spain, kind of people in Spain have been asking, why did Alonso do this? He went from a race, from a Grand Prix winning team to a team which is not doing well, and they're all befuddled. All of Spain is befuddled. And Fernando Alonso is like one of their national heroes. It's like Sachin Tendulkar, and then he has got this car, and he was not very happy, but he was smiling. It was his home race. That smile is going to evaporate in about 2 races. This is Fernando Alonso.
We're gonna see a whole lot of dirty secrets from the McLaren paddock coming to press Fernando Alonso. I have a feeling of that.
Okay, so next race is going to be Monaco GP, and it's going to happen in 2 weeks' time. We are going to come in there. See, that's what I say. This is the sport podcast. It's also the F1 show.
Yeah. So the next race, we hope to see a whole lot of better things from all the other teams as well. Force India's going to get its updates.
Next race is going to be upgrades, and upgrades galore.
And a tunnel.
Yeah.
Monaco has a tunnel, right?
Yeah.
I really want to see that. Yeah. A tunnel for F1 cars.
What I want to really hear in Monaco is when these cars go into the tunnel. Okay, that's when if one of these guys goes switches on the ERS. I want to see what the ERS sounds in the tunnel, because the earliest
He's just geeking out on me, aren't you?
I'm going to tell you what happens in an ERS in an open track. A car is going, and then there is a electric 160 horsepower, and you get those kind of things. I want to sound.
He's geeking out on all of us, guys.
In the tunnel, it's going to be awesome, man.
Stop. He's geeking out on us now. I think that'd be a right point to call an end, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, guys. See you next time.
This is it for this week.
We're gonna be coming back. We're gonna let you know what happened in the qualifying Monaco GP, the practice. He doesn't see the practices.
I read the tweets.
And obviously after the race, we're gonna give you a new podcast.
Yeah.